Devin Cronje, Marino Kutundana, obviously we were looking for someone to stick up their hand here and say, I'm the bantamweight contender. You mentioned Sylvester perhaps had a higher output, maybe dominated the fight a little bit better against a dangerous striker. For me, I just don't think there was enough of a hand being stuck up. I would have liked to have seen someone really get a finish, hunt for the finish, put out the output, get the job done. If it's me and I'm the matchmaker, I'm making Devin Cronje and Sylvester Chipfumbu fight that out for the number one contender spot. Whether that happens, we'll wait to see, but I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, look, I don't think the EFC want to put Faiz on the back burner much longer. I think they want him to fight, especially with the return to Cape Town. They definitely want to get him back in there. And you know what, out of the four guys, I think Sylvester definitely did the most. But like you said, Graham would have wanted something bigger, more of a statement from them. Maybe we would have seen more from Devin had that armbar not been on for so much longer past the buzzer. He did say it popped, so I don't know, there's all these factors that play into it, but I think we see Chipfumbu, Faiz in Cape Town in April.
100%. Talk about Aniset Kanyeba. We were sitting here cage side just like in awe of his boxing ability, some crazy escapes, maybe technically not escape masterpieces, but getting them done. Hanging on for life, man, and just ridiculously good boxing. Dude, you cannot deny this guy a title shot any longer. The talk was it at the weigh-ins that the winner here is going to face Elaine Ilunga. That's a rematch if that happens. We don't know what's happening with Joe Cummins, Elaine Ilunga, but it seems that we're going to see Aniset Kanyeba, Elaine Ilunga, 2020, hopefully the first fight of the year. What did you think about Aniset's performance, and what do you think about the rematch with Elaine Ilunga?
The first 2 or 3 minutes of that fight were very high-paced. There were a lot of opportunities for both guys to finish the fight, and I think had Saxon conserved his energy a bit more, it would have been a little bit of a closer fight in the later rounds. With that said, I'm not 100% convinced that Aniset has upskilled enough to change the result of the previous Elaine Ilunga fight. Elaine dominated that fight with kicks and kept the range, and he did really well. And it was a very dominant performance from Elaine, and I think Elaine's improved since then, as well as Aniset's improved since then. But I think we're going to have a similar match in the rematch.
Do you think Aniset Kanyeba versus Saxon Delafield 2 that we just saw is a very high contender for fight of the year?
Guaranteed round one was round of the year.
Insane.
I don't think any other round this year comes close to what happened in round one today. Just unfortunately, the pace slowed down drastically in round two, but it's definitely a contender for fight of the year. And it's my number one pick for fight of the night, definitely.
100%. We always hear the 1 minute monster. Do you think that reputation's come back to haunt him? First time he's been out of round one in who knows how long. Just seemed to gas quite hard. Maybe the altitude was a factor. Maybe the output's a factor. Maybe the weight cut's a factor. Maybe 170 is the home for Saxon Delafield.
I think 155 is actually good for Saxon. I just think he needs to figure out a few things regarding his cardiovascular output. I don't know if the altitude played a major factor. He grew up in the Durban region. He now lives in Cape Town. Fighting in Joburg isn't easy when you live at sea level. So he needs to figure that out. Maybe switching his camp to Joburg a couple of weeks earlier. But I'm sure Mark and the guys at PFA will sit him down and go through what happened today. There was a clear opportunity for Saxon to win back at the end of round three. Yeah. And just some bad decision making kind of cost him that opportunity. But Aniset was fantastic, actually. He was very composed throughout the fight. He was ready to get stuck in there and just throw hands. Massive improvement in his boxing. So yeah, it was a good fight overall, and well done to Aniset.
Absolutely. We saw a title change from someone dominant like Amanda Lino, who's been such a staple in South African MMA for so long and such a leader in female MMA for the country. Just, with all due respect, just outclassed. Too high level striking, perhaps a level she had never really faced or dealt with. She seemed very uncertain of what to do, very linear in her approach. Just a different level from a non-Firo tonight.
No, definitely. Manon's a high-level striker. She's a master at managing the distance between her and her opponent. There was no instance where Amanda could actually close the distance successfully. Every time she tried to like barrage her with these strikes, Manon kept the distance with the kicks, and then obviously followed up with a couple of those three-piece combos and yeah.
Three-piece and soda you're talking about.
Three-piece and soda, Jorge style. But yeah, Amanda was a bit linear tonight. There wasn't a lot of like lateral movement or any dynamic footwork from her side. You could see she was like literally trying to figure this out in the cage. Obviously, spending an entire camp prepping for someone, you generally think you have the answer. I think she soon realized in the cage that whatever their plan was definitely wasn't the correct plan for Manon. So yeah, it was definitely one-way traffic. I was very surprised that only one judge gave a 10-8 round. I thought there was at least 2 10-8s in that fight. But yeah, she definitely cruised through to victory. Her corner didn't seem too happy about her performance, Manon's performance. So it'll be interesting to see what they say in the press conference.
Yeah, it seemed like to them she was deviating a bit from the game plan, but she got the job done, and I guess that's what matters.
I actually even don't know how she would have beaten Manon. To be completely honest, even on the ground, it looked like Manon had a significant advantage, and I don't know what the game plan would be to shut down Manon. You know, it would be interesting to get someone like a high-level coach in to try and analyze that and break that down.
And then obviously the homeboy, the guy everyone came to see, Dricus du Plessis, getting it done fast in the first round. Massive performance. He threw a straight right that was like a meteor, sat Ben Lazard down, sunk in the choke, got the job done quickly, called out for the light heavyweight title, which I found quite surprising personally. I thought maybe we were going to hear about something in KSW, perhaps even the UFC. I'm sure Dricus is knocking on that door now.
Yeah, you know, I actually thought Brendan kind of gave that vibe at the beginning of the fight that maybe he was going to do this thing again, you know. Yeah. Every time he doubts him, he comes in and does it, and he proves everyone wrong. But yeah, Dricus was cool, calm, and collective. He took everything that Brendan gave to him, and then, like you said, sat him down with that right and sunk in a deep guillotine choke. Brendan fell into the hole of the guillotine choke, and wasn't long before he tapped. And Brendan's not a scrub on the ground either. I mean, he's a good grappler. So yeah, it was a great performance from Dricus, and I know Brendan's upset, but it wasn't a terrible performance from his side, you know.
Well, I actually chatted to Dricus' strength and conditioning coach backstage before the fight, and I said to him, where the confidence comes in like picking Dricus to win this fight is purely based that Dricus is not the guy who's going to underestimate anybody. He'll never underestimate an opponent, and I think that's an attribute of his. So I think he came in here serious, he prepared properly, he had a game plan, he knew where the dangers were, he knew what to look at, and he knew what to execute. Well, Mr. King, end of 2019, I'm a year ahead, I'm jumping the gun. EFC83 just happened, crazy night. For us, I think the theme for the night's kind of been this like big show feel. It's been a massive crowd, massive fights from the word go, like super high octane finishes, submissions, maybe a little bit of controversy here and there, like the kind of MMA night that had a little bit of everything. What were your immediate thoughts after the fights?
I thought it was a great night. I think everyone really ended the year with a big statement. You know, the year has been like a little bit tumultuous, and there've been some high moments, low moments. You know, we didn't know quite where MMA in South Africa was going, especially the pro side of things. I think everyone came out and just gave everyone confidence and hope for the new year. They put everything out there. You know, the prelims really did live up past expectation, and the main card started off with the cracker, and then there were some extremely big moments. Some hard and cold truths also came out in the main card. So great event, man.
Yeah, it was a super crazy event, and it was set up from the beginning. We were going to get a lot of clarity about a lot of things in this card. Starting with the bantamweight division, you mentioned the main card got off to a bang. Sylvester Chipfumba versus Aziashu Chitamba. Obviously, Sylvester had a game plan, a resting heavy kind of attack, got the job done. Do you think he put his hand up as the number one contender for the bantamweight division?
Yeah, definitely. You know, they had the two fights there. They were like really like setting up to see who was going to go there. And I think he had the best performance out of the 4 fighters. Devin had a good performance against Marino, but it was probably a little bit closer than what Sylvester had against Asiashu. So I think he's definitely the next contender out of those 4 guys. Both Sylvester or Devin have their hands full against Faiz, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure that we'll get that early next year.
Yeah, he mentioned April 2020, see you in Cape Town, were his words. So I'm hoping he knows something we don't, and perhaps we're going to Cape Town in April. We can only hope. I think Drickus just absolutely showed his class, stamped his authority, and yeah, credit to him. He's remained the champion. We ended off with a cracker here. We look forward to 2020. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to do for the next few months.
I think a big well done to EFC, big well done to Graham, Cairo, Calvin, all the guys. It was really a fantastic event. Great way to end the year, gives us lots of confidence for the new year.
100% showed their muscle while they're the powerhouse in Africa. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Cheers, guys.